Hello, everybody. It is Tuesday, and your eyes are not deceiving you. There are three moving people on your screen. Like, he has been blessed by the gods. He is here in full video mode. It is the best beard in the business, Mr. Vince Haley. Vince, thank you for being here.
Oh, always a pleasure to be here, especially to talk about Elden Ring and the Batman.
We will be talking about both extensively, but don't worry if you don't want any spoilers. The very end of our podcast will be the spoiler section of the Batman, so you are safe until then. So no need to worry.
We'll give you a chance to get out.
To get out of there, that's for sure. But also joining us, you heard him there, you can see him there. It is the Pun Master General, the Obi-Pun Kenobi. It is Mr. Terry Jeffs. Terry, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. It's a good week in the geek world right now. I'm having a good time.
We're having a good time. This podcast is going to be quite heavily focused on Elden Ring. We have kind of three different levels of the game, which we spoke about quite a lot. I've never played a Souls game before at all, was never interested. Terry's always been really interested and has played a small amount of Souls games, and then you've got Vince that has, I don't want to say anything that's wrong, completed every Souls game apart from Elden Ring.
Platinumed, and also got a, what do you call it on Xbox? What's like a, what do you call it if you get all the achievements?
The 1,000 gamer
score. It's just, your 1,000 gamer score.
He done both. He did both. Just
no,
for the hell
I
of
did
it.
not. That's too much. No way. But yeah, I've beaten every FromSoft game aside from obviously now Elden Ring and Demon Souls.
Oh, okay, and Demon Souls.
Yeah, that's it.
You also did the ones on the Switch as well. If they're on Switch, I can't remember.
Oh no, I tried playing Dark Souls on the Switch. Dark Souls Remastered. Don't.
Didn't you also port it to 3DS, like to give yourself a real challenge?
No.
No.
And the PS1, what was it? The remake of Bloodborne. He's done that already as well.
I want to play that so bad.
It does look amazing.
So
it does.
I know we are itching to talk about Elden Rings. I know we're itching to talk about the Batman. Two things that we've been looking forward to for a long, long time. So we're going to get to them really quickly. The first thing we have to talk about, just a quick little thing, is obviously tomorrow there is a State of Play for PlayStation. It's only a 20-minute one. They've said that it's going to have a strong focus on Japanese games, but it's not purely Japanese studios. What do we think we're going to see at this one? It's obviously not going to be a big one.
Here's the thing.
Go on then, Vince.
Japanese studios, obviously. Japan studios. Who is known for... This is so fucking stupid, but I love it. I'm just gonna put it out there because everyone's gonna fucking put it out there, right? They worked with From Software on Bloodborne, therefore Bloodborne 2.
You can't. There's not a chance.
Fucking way.
There's not a chance they're gonna jump on the hype of Elden Ring and go, "Hey guys, I know you're playing this. Bloodborne 2 is on its way."
Let's cannibalize our own that's the thing right now. I know we're gonna go into this in a minute, but like From Software don't have to do anything right now because you were just saying this a minute ago, Adam. Like my whole Twitter timeline for the last week has just been Elden Ring. Like it's literally just all people just seem to be talking about right now in the circle that I'm in. It's just crazy. But yeah, I've got zero expectations of this. No. I mean, I always enjoy the PlayStation State of Plays, regardless of what happens in them. I just like to see some cool stuff. But yeah, I think it's going to be mostly an indie showcase. So I think we might see something like a new Yakuza or something like that, or something along announcement of those lines. So who knows?
Well, here's the thing: they did just announce that DLC for Lost Judgment, rather.
Was there well, they just announced the second game that came out, didn't it? Are they doing a DLC for the second game?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's part of like their season pass or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, that's
unless they just completely are fooling us, and this is going to be a Final Fantasy 16 blowout, guys. Come on,
hey.
That's the dream, right?
Nightmare for some, but that would be the dream for Terry. Yeah. But no, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. Other little bit of news: Gran Turismo getting good scores. You know, come out of the blocks well. Hasn't been too many issues that I've seen. Technically, I think it's been working pretty solidly, so that's good.
Yeah,
it's been a good month for games, really. When you've had Horizon in there, you've had Sifu in there, and now obviously Elden Ring and Gran Turismo. So yeah, it's been a
gamers eating good.
Yeah,
gamers eating good.
Do we see that? Is it Forspoken or Forsaken?
Delayed.
It's
Forspoken.
Delayed to later on in the year, and I, for one, am happy about that. Like,
when was that coming out?
Next month.
Oh, right. Yeah,
wow.
I mean that's.
Yeah. I'm happy about that.
Yeah, it's a good move.
For sure,
it's a good move. Yeah.
And GTA Remake, the GTA 5 next gen editions, they've said that they're going to cost, I think, under $10.
Oh,
so it's not full price. So I think that's a good thing. They're not trying to charge the full whack. They're coming out at a reduced rate. So you can't charge full price for that game again. You can't do what
they had my curiosity. Now they have my attention.
Skyrim, adding a fishing rod to theirs and charging full price is an absolute scam.
That's Bethesda though. Like,
yeah,
if they can release Skyrim at full price on anything, they will.
That's what they do. Did anyone see the meme? It was just an image of if Elden Ring was made by Ubisoft.
Yes, I've seen that image.
I've not really been following this too much. Is this because of some commenter that was made by a developer from? Wasn't it someone that worked at Ubisoft made a comment saying, "Oh, they don't know how to do quests" or something like that?
It was. I think it's more just the commentary on. It shows that it has a list of tasks on the side, your mini-map in the top corner, dots everywhere in front of you, and the screen is just loaded with stuff. We've become so used to Elden Ring style, whereas it's a very minimalist screen to almost nothing on the screen unless you're doing something.
Yeah.
Like, to then Ubisoft where it is. Even when I've gone to Horizon, I'm a bit like, okay, there's quite a lot on my screen right now. And I haven't really been able to touch it for the last week, really. But yeah, so shall we talk about it?
Let's just go into
it. We talk about it.
Shall we talk about it? Oh, guys, this Elden Ring game's a thing, isn't it? It's
yeah, it's a video game.
It is a video game. It is definitely a video game. This, from an outside perspective, and we're all gonna talk in depth a lot. My first thoughts on this is, it's such a weird area of gaming where the game is really, really good. I really do enjoy my time with it, but man, this game is fucking weird.
It really is. As you just said, that is the perfect word to describe Elden Ring, as in weird. And I don't even mean as in weird as in like the lore and the creatures and stuff like just the
choices,
actual game.
the
gameplay. The choices made, but it I don't know. I don't want to let you go into it, but for me, the weirdness, it just works for me. Everything just works. But go on. I'm really interested to hear after what we were speaking like last week. Obviously, you were just playing Horizon, and you said it was quite jarring to go off playing this after Horizon because Horizon's like the most beautiful game ever made. So I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this now because you put a lot of time into this.
Yeah, I have. Like, I've put a fair bit of time into it. So when we first spoke, I had done the tutorial, and I'd used quotations for that because it teaches you the ones very basics.
Entirely miss.
You can entirely miss them. It's very basic and doesn't teach you 95% of what you need to do in this game. Like, so tutorial is basic, which that's what you come to expect, I guess, from these sort of games. I'd come outside, seen a big guy on a horse, gone up to him to try and kill him, got one hit, one shot killed, turn the game off. I was like, I'll come back to this. Then I played it a little bit more, kind of got into it, and I played with Vince on the stream.
Yep.
Still very low level at that point. You got me my first boss kill.
Got your first two.
Got first 2 kills. And then on the weekend, I went full ham. And went for it. So now I'm level 55. And still can't kill shit. But, I stumble my way through it. I know there's the main quest, or the main bits. I ignore that. In my mind, I know what I'm trying to do. So
what have you been doing to get to that level?
I'll tell
What
you
have
exactly
been...
what I've been
That's
doing.
a great question.
I'll tell you
'Cause,
exactly
like,
what I've been doing.
It sounds like how you're playing it how I used to play like the old like Final Fantasy games where I just like go to 1 hour and spend about 20 hours just grinding one enemy so I could be overpowered and then I'd just carry on with the story.
So I hate grinding in games normally.
Yeah.
And there are points in this game where I get a little bit annoyed with the grinding. But I found a sleeping dragon. Like,
you
in the lake?
The dragon, huh?
It's not in the lake. No, it's way over in. Is it? What's it called? The blood red place, Kadir or something, or whatever it's called. Yeah. So, and it's a giant dragon there that's asleep and doesn't wake up. And if you keep hitting it with bleeding effect, it will eventually die. That gave me 100,000 runes. So
Jesus.
So I managed to beef but by this point I was already in my 30s, so I actually only gained 10 levels with that, but I did that.
Only 10 levels.
Only 10 levels. But what I'm trying to do is I've now got the sword, the Fire and Night, which is supposedly the best sword in the game. Like,
oh my god.
Which fires flames and ice.
Is this something that you knew about? Like,
I knew about the sword. I knew about the sword, and I knew about there was a boss that you could kill by making it chase you up a hill because it was poison, and you got 45,000 for that. I'd seen them just on YouTube by watching a video, or on Twitter. Sorry, I didn't know what it was, but the rest of it, I've kind of found these little imp enemies that you could kill that gave you 1,000 at a time. So just got to a high enough level and just went to ham on them for about 3 hours, grinding it out. And then I knew where the sword was with the Fire and Night. And to get there, I had to go on a mission. So that took a lot of death and a lot of trying. And then I killed some more bosses. I managed to kill the pumpkin guy.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah. And then obviously I had to redo the bosses we had done because I did them on PC. So I went back and did them. And then I was on my way to what I want to do. But to do it, I need to have killed Godric.
Right.
So, or what's he called? The one that everyone's talking about. Begins with an R. Is that the one that...
Oh,
who's the first guy? Who's the first boss?
Margit,
yeah.
Now, you see,
technically the first boss.
I thought I was avoiding Margit. So I was just walking through this castle, and I followed a path that was supposed to avoid it. Did not avoid it, so I had to fight Margaret. Or Margit.
I was thinking this actually. Like, I think you could make a podcast literally just talking about this game because it's just
ridiculous.
But
yes, outside chat.
Yeah, good one. I think we're just gonna have to just keep bouncing back and forth here. But I don't know how many hours I've put into this game, but like I say, it's not that many. Where I've played it, I'm playing like an hour and a half at a time. But I'm only like level 20. But I've been playing It's weird actually. The majority of the time I've been playing this game, I've just been exploring. Mm-hmm. So what I do is I'll either play two ways. I'll either be I'm gonna explore, which when I'm exploring, I'll make sure that I've got no runes on me. Obviously, just So I've rested at a
Site of Grace.
Site of Grace, and I'm just gonna go around. I'm just gonna scout the area, pinpoint some areas like locations, find out what's going on where, like if there's anything interesting, what the enemies are like. Are they going to be tough over here? Just find some cool areas, and I'll just go exploring and just go on some adventures. And then afterwards I'll go, right, okay, I'm going to go over there and farm a little bit, and then I'll do that and go back. But mostly it's been exploring. But I forgot where I was going with this. But I thought I'm just going to, because I have been avoiding the path to go up to the castle, and I thought, I've rested. I'm going to just charge through it. Let's just see what's going on. So I got on my horse and charged through the gates. Everything's chasing after me. There's fucking arrows. There's giants chasing after me. I'm screaming, get me out of here. And then I eventually made it up, and I've made it to the boss. And I was quite surprised, actually. He completely wiped the floor on me, but I took him down to about 3/4 of his health, on the first try. And I thought, well, this guy's I reckon I could... But I thought, I'm not quite there to take him out. I thought I'd come back, a few levels' time. But after, I thought I'm going to explore the area again, and rather than going through that bit, I did cut through along a cliff along the side of it, and came out.
Oh, you found a cliff path.
Yeah.
Completely came out. There's like wolves down there and stuff, and I came out on the other side of it.
Yeah, you
and
can
then I was at that vista that Vince, I recognized it, that posted on Light saying I'm not in
anymore.
Yeah, and I was like, have I just like have I just completely skipped to the next day? I don't. Yeah, so I don't know, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't. But then I didn't continue going because actually no, I did explore further down, and my god, yeah, some of these like skeleton things with like scythe, they just absolutely destroyed me on one hit. I was like, yeah, I'm not supposed to be here. I'm not going back here. But yeah, that's what I love about this game. It's just like you constantly just pushing, like just seeing how much you can get away with, like pushing the boundaries until it breaks. It's just, and you always feel like you're breaking the game, or you're doing something, or you're discovering something you shouldn't, or I don't know. It's great.
I don't think I've said what the fuck is that more than I have playing this game.
Oh, absolutely.
I tell you what can fuck off. Birds with swords on their feet, they can fuck off.
Yeah.
Like
sword feet birds.
They can fuck off. Or birds that somehow pick up barrels of like and start throwing them at you, explosive barrels, they can fuck off.
How many times have you guys played this and then just audibly just said, "Oh my god!" I just gone, "What the fuck?"
Multiple times. But then, I don't really care about the main quest at the moment. Like, I'll get there. What I need to do is get the lift to work, where you need the two parts of the talisman to make the lift work. But you don't need the.
Something that an old woman talks about to you.
Yes, but you can get up without that, which you need a teleport. So I'm following this thing to get this teleport, because if I can get the teleport, I can get up, and then there's a good level to do a bit of farming, because I need to get my faith and intelligence up to 25. So if I get them up to 25, then I can use this sword that I've been wanting to use, and then I can start to focus on what I want to do. So I'm on my own little mission. But then to do that, it said, oh, you need to kill Godric or that evil fucker on the horse that's in the tournament. So I was like, okay, I'll go try and kill Godric. And then that took like 5 hours of trying to work out, because I did not know how the map worked, in the sense of that was like an arrow path. That was I did not know that was a thing until I started following it. I was like, oh, this is leading me where I need to go. Like, I went off on one. I found some crazy things that I got screwed over. A cliff collapsed on me.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah.
Yeah, stood on a cliff and it just collapsed and lost all my runes. So that was fantastic. Yeah. What do I really like about this game? I like how vast it is and how you can cheese it, but to cheese it you have to think. Like, so I have this spell that I can use called Rotten Breath. And you pull out a dragon's head, basically, and you blow this big red smoke on the enemy, and it puts the rot onto them, and their health just drains and keeps draining and keeps draining. So if you run away from a boss, like, and you maybe have to hit them maybe twice in a fight and just run away, like, and you're great. Like,
so you say like that's awesome, by the way, but you're saying like, oh, you can cheese it, but like I don't even see it like that is cheesing it. I think that the game, because of the way that the game is built, that's what I'm saying, it always makes you feel like you're kind of breaking it. And the only thing that I've ever played that has anything similar like this, other than any Souls game, is like Kojima's games, where he will put in these moments where if you do this like weird thing, I don't know, like the first thing coming to my end is like to my brain is like the fight with the end.
Yeah.
Like, if you know it, you can actually just like kill the end before you even get to the boss fight and kill it, or even in the battle you can, wind the clock forward on the PS2 and it kills him. And it's just, but there's just these cool things that you feel like, wow, I shouldn't have been able to do that, but I did something weird and it paid off. Or if you didn't play the game in a week and then you come back and he's dead, like. But there's just so many other points like that in the Metal Gear games, which is so cool. But it just feels like there's just moment after moment after moment of that in this game.
And it is very much that. And that's the thing that I enjoy the most, is we can have these conversations. It goes, "Oh, how did you do this?"
Yeah.
Like, and this is why I don't think I'd enjoy the others so much, because I know they're not necessarily linear, but they're much more linear than this, and I like what I can do with this. I'm enjoying it. Like, there's so many things that I want to unlock and to do in this game, and you do start to play it, and I think this is a very hard game to play 20 minutes of and put it down. Like, I think you're going and put a big bulk of it. What I don't like is I still don't think it's the prettiest game. I know it's not supposed to be, and it's just one of those games where I wish it just looked a little bit better at times. Like, even in the cutscenes, like, their mouth movements aren't great if they're there at all. Like, and sometimes that's a bit jarring. And every NPC has the quietest voice in the world.
That's just literally every Souls game. Though.
For me, I'm just listening to this going, why are you so quiet?
Yeah.
And they all have, it doesn't matter what is going on in the scene, the softest speaking voice.
Yeah.
There could be fire around them, birds with swords cutting at the head, and they go, "Hello, Tarnished." And you're like, have a bit of acting. Come on.
Souls dialogue.
Yeah, that's Souls dialogue. Yeah. But nothing.
At least they don't laugh at the end of every sentence, though.
Yeah.
That's been a big staple in at least Dark Souls.
But yeah, like,
I know what you mean though, because going back to the visuals, I feel the same. Like, because I'll be walking, and the art direction in the world is just incredible, and I'm walking around, and like it's not technically like pretty, it's not like it, but and you walk around, and you're just thinking, God, can you imagine what a remaster of this will look like in 10 years' time? I was like, can you imagine if what's her name? We did Dark Souls remake. My mind's gone blank.
Blue Point.
If Blue Point got their hands on this, like, and did a remake, and then at the same time, I'll be thinking like, no, but that's just silly. Like this is just crazy. Like, what I'm playing right now is just crazy anyway. Forget like the actual visuals, but I know what you mean. You just can't help but think that when you're playing it, especially I guess coming off the back of Horizon. Exactly,
and I'm leaving you out of this, Vince, because I know you're the pro, and your opinion probably matters more in this. But the amount of things that it, which I like and don't like, the amount of things that it doesn't tell you. Is great in the sense of like, it's like, wow, you have to go find all this stuff out on your own, but at the same time, it can be really fucking annoying. And it's like because I don't want to have to go online and look how to do something, and I know, and it's not on everything. Like the stuff to do with the world, that's fine, and finding out on your own. But mechanics that have been in all of the other games, but if you're new to the game, like you haven't. They expect you to know these things and you don't. Like, that's the one side of this that I found a little bit frustrating. And as always, the community is quite toxic. But the game itself, I was not expecting to like this game. And when I played the tutorial the first time, I thought, well, I've just wasted 60 quid on a game that I'm never going to play again. But not only did I waste 60 quid, I wasted 100 because I got it twice. And
that's crazy, though, that you actually...
Like, I haven't even done that. And I've been tempted to buy it on PS5 to play with the both of you.
But I will say, as the only person here who's played it on 2 different systems, the PlayStation 5 is hands down better. It loads quicker. It doesn't jutter.
Wow, really? More than PC?
Oh, yeah. The PC is so much slower loading than the PlayStation.
And it's not prettier on the PC?
No, prettier on the PlayStation. Oh. And my PC handles it at full spec. Like, I can play anything at full spec, and it jutters on the... Its frame rates aren't
Are you guys playing it... like, I left it on the performance mode rather than the...
Yeah, performance mode, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was important with this.
I did try changing it for a moment, and I was like, oh, no, that's not...
Yeah. It's just, it's just a lot more responsive on the PlayStation. So that's one bit of advice. But Vince.
Yeah.
As the expert of the group,
right,
how are you enjoying Elden Ring.
I love this game. Like, I saw, obviously, the meme forever ago, right before Elden Ring came out, which was the screenshot of Dune that basically just had Elden Ring, what if I'm not great? And then right below it has, what was the quote? Then you're all I ever needed you to be, a Souls game. And that's 100% true. That's all I ever needed to be was a Souls game, just to make me happy. But with the way this game has turned out, with the open world, with everything coming together so beautifully, it's amazing. I'm having such a fantastic time with it. It's that thing that, if you go back and play, like, if you just have that itch after playing Elden Ring that you want to go back and try, like, Dark Souls or Demon Souls or Bloodborne, Sekiro even, you're going to miss out on that open worldness because Elden Ring just handles it so well. It gives you freedom in probably the best way possible. Like, you can go anywhere, you can do anything. If something's too hard, you can just fuck off and go running around for like 2 hours, come back, maybe the thing will be easier, maybe you've learned some stuff you didn't know before. Like, you experimented with mechanics, weapon types, try to get your parrying time down, whatever. Like, and it encourages that so much because FromSoft have level design down to a T, to where you can just be out in the open world, see anything, or just like look at your map, even if you haven't discovered like too much on it. You can just see like a pile of ruins, go in that direction, and you'll find something interesting, right? That's has happened so many times to me. Just like wandering in a specific direction and finding something cool, fun, difficult that I'll just be like, hey, I'll come back later. I'm going to fuck off somewhere else now. And you can do that. Like, in other FromSoft games, you can't really. Like, yeah, there are different paths to it that you can take, but it's not going to be as open. Like, you're probably going to have to grind if you're not at a specific level, or, buy items, consumables, whatever, in other games. So I feel like Elden Ring is going to be more approachable to those who have never played a Souls game before. That being said, that FromSoft still needs to work on accessibility. I'll get that talk right out the gate, right? Because that's been the big discourse even before the game came out. FromSoft has not in many years taking steps towards accessibility. And one thing that I always kind of hold true is that you can like a thing, but you can still see the flaws in it, right? Mm-hmm. And that is FromSoft's biggest flaw. I'm not even talking about like, hey, they need to add easy modes to their games. It's things like colorblind mode, enlarging text. What Adam was talking about, the NPCs being so quiet that I literally have to turn up my TV, then turn it back down when he gets into combat because suddenly everything else is so much louder.
Yeah.
It's these, I don't want to say small things that can be a greater leap into something better, because they're not small things. They're things that can open up a game to a wider audience. It could bring more people into the community, which is never a bad thing. Yeah,
exactly.
Like, even I just played Control, right? Mm-hmm. And Control had an assist mode in its settings, which again you'll never see if you don't go into the settings or bother with it. You don't have to touch it. If FromSoft just added something similar, it would be 1,000 times better. It would be a step in the right direction, at least.
Yeah, this is what I don't get. I don't get why people are getting so mad about having an accessibility mode in Elden Rings when it is never going to affect their game because they don't need an accessibility mode. It's kind of like it is, and it's one of the worst areas of gaming, but even more so in Souls games, is gatekeeping. Saying if you can't beat it at the level that I beat it at, you don't deserve to be playing the game, and people are just getting upset because the game is hard. No, people are getting upset because they can't play the game.
Right.
Like, and no game in ever, but especially in the 21st century, should be unplayable for people.
Right.
Like, a game can be hard, like, and too hard for you to complete, like, as an abled or disabled person because of the game that it is, and it's just above your ability level. But you shouldn't be able to be hampered because of not having the accessibility settings that you need.
I going on to the accessibility thing. I think I agree with Vince with stuff like the, like they are very old school in the terms of like not being able to customize like the sound and the text and like the color like color stuff, and like that's stuff that needs to be addressed. And maybe they could probably do something with like I don't know if there's a possible way to do like an easy mode where just everything like has lower health and that kind of thing. But it's funny because the thing, and we've had this conversation before with the Souls games, I think there's like misconceptions that Souls games are difficult, like they're just difficult, because I don't think that they actually are difficult. It's just that they're not easy. And I think that it's the difference is that I think they're a bit of a wake-up call for a lot of people, is because I think just a lot of modern games are quite easy, and they do hold your hand so much because they really want to encourage you just to finish the game. Most games do not want you to leave. They want you to say, please don't go, please don't go, please don't. Look, we'll tell you where to go. Please, look, you got to go this way. Look, we'll hand you the things. We'll point out everything on the map. Just go this way, and that's the only difference with Soul game, and that's why I think people think they're difficult, because it does none of that. And then where as gamers and again, I'm not talking about the accessibility stuff here, like with people that might have difficulty, like even just like playing a normal game, like holding a controller. I'm talking generally, but most games, when you play it, you kind of you are on autopilot a lot of the time. You're just kind of half-arsing it, and that's where it's different. You can't in this game. You have to be switched on. You have to be focusing, because any enemy will take you down. Not because they're too hard. It's just that they're not a pushover. It's just that you just got to be on the ball. Like, and it's and that's a bit of the wake up call. But the accessibility stuff, like there should be something where that someone wants to explore this world and that loves open worlds. Maybe they love something like Skyrim. They should be able to get into this game and explore it. And there should be a setting there where, why not just put an easy mode on where it just halves, like across the board, everything just kind of goes down, like goes down, or maybe you're given some stats. I don't know, there should be a way to do that just for those people that want to do it.
Well, it was like one of the games that did really well with it was The Last of Us Part 2. I think because they introduced, was it in accessibility mode, you could roll, you could dodge, and your dodge was more effective. Right. So you could continuously roll, and there was more movement to it for the accessibility. So they added tweaks, and they added stuff as well as the usual like colorblind mode and even sound assists and stuff like that. I think that's the thing with this game is, before you even look into the controllers and into the button mapping and stuff like that, is the basic ones like colorblind mode, like we said, and on-screen indicators for enemies coming from a direction, because we don't all have hearing, and that's like a lot of games have this now, where there's sound indicators, like the side of the screen glows a little bit. They don't tell you what it is. They just say, "Hey, there's sound over here," which isn't going to change anything about the game for anybody, because we can hear the sound coming. So just being able to see the sound coming doesn't make the game any easier in the slightest. It just means, oh look, this helps this amount of people play the game. Like people, the issue is gatekeeping from the community.
Yeah, it's a gatekeeping thing,
because a lot of people, fuck off.
a lot of people have this like thing where it's like could be this game, could be any game where it's like difficult, and then they've completed it, and then there's almost like a trophy on their shelf, like kind of not many people have this, like I've got this, and then they feel that by the barriers being lowered down, like and more people can have it, and and do it easily. Right. They feel like it kind of waters down their achievement, which is wrong, because it just doesn't. It doesn't matter. Like it doesn't. Like it doesn't. What is it? Yeah.
It doesn't matter at all. You're absolutely right.
It doesn't. But it's so like fracturing, right? Because the worst part of the Souls community is the most vocal.
Yeah.
There is a whole other side that is very welcoming. They will help you, like even messages on the ground, right? I mean,
once you get past the buttholes and treasure below, like at the end of every cliff.
Try jumping,
they're not always. But
they're not always.
But there are a lot.
I love
and I laugh
the
at some of
trolling
them
in the game, because I love the read a message and not know. And I read them all.
Apart from, does anyone know how they appear? Is it a regional thing? I know how you do them, but how do they? Because there must be a lot more people.
Yeah, I imagine it's like like an MMO kind of thing, where it's like a can't think of the word, but like a zone. It just kind of will put a few in and then a few somewhere else. So maybe like
every female NPC I've met, there's been a message in front of saying finger butthole, like like every female NPC I've met.
Everyone, huh? No amazing chest ahead. That's disappointing.
That one I've had. I will
admit, I put one of those in Dark Souls 2.
Yeah.
It's actually beneficial because someone rated it, and I got my health back during a boss fight.
Okay, so how do you rate them? Because
you can appraise them, can't you?
Yeah, but how do you appraise it? What button is it? This is how
it's the touchpad for the PlayStation.
It's the touchpad. It has like a little.
Yeah, it's
a down, and I'm like, what button is this? Is it down the D-pad? What am I meant to be pressing?
I think,
and that pretty much just says it all about Elden Ring. I don't know how to vote these things up, like whatever. Because I know apparently even if you upvote them or downvote them, they get their health regenerated.
Yeah, I think it's as long as someone
even if you downvote it, which is pretty cool. Because I read a tweet, someone saying whoever just upvoted or whatever one of my things, you just saved my life because you refilled my health, which just managed me to defeat this boss I was on. I was just cool. That's what this game is about. It's just stuff like that.
But then you do get the good messages that say be careful around the corner to the left, or
absolutely. If anyone say beware dangerous foe ahead, I'm like, okay, I've got my guard up. At least do I want to go down here? Should I? How many runes have I got on me? I might want to go check back at camp. It's good to read all of them.
But then you do get the same ones when you're in a corridor, and then it pops up and it says, I can't remember the exact wording, powerful boss ahead or powerful enemy ahead, or however they write it. So then you're sneaking forward, and then there's another message that says liar ahead. And then it's just for the love of God.
Love those.
Or
the dog messages.
Oh, a lot of dog messages, yeah. A lot of dog messages. But yeah, they have helped me in some circumstances where they say ambush ahead and stuff like that. So, and I really do enjoy that. And yeah, I do laugh at the butthole ones,
everyone laughs
quite
at
a lot.
Ones.
But yeah.
So Vince, where are you?
Where are you in the game right now?
Where are you at? Without going into
where am I at?
Yeah.
Oh, I am deep within that area. I just started riding.
The area that I always say about.
What's the castle?
Outside the castle.
Past the
Lake of Renalia.
Oh yeah. I've explored that area. Yeah. That's a lot of fuckery going on in there.
A lot of fuckery, especially the alien frogs.
Yeah,
fucking hate those things.
Have you found the giant lobsters?
Yeah, I just race by them.
Yeah, they fuck you up.
I'm sure they will. Did find the Pope turtle though.
I haven't found the Pope turtle. I've heard about it.
But... he's in that area. If you find the Church of Vows, you'll find the Pope turtle.
Is he an NPC or do you have to fight him?
He's an NPC.
Okay, that's good. I don't want to fight turtles.
He sells you spells.
Oh, a lot of people sell you spells.
But yeah. But there's another item there with him I haven't got to try out yet. but I want to see what it does. There's also the Church of Roses, which
I've done that one. Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of a pain in the ass. Which I don't know if I beat that enemy or if something else did, because I was fighting him. Then the alien frogs came over as well, and I was like, "Fuck, I'm screwed." And then he just disappeared, or he died. I don't know what happened. So, which is one of my favorite things about that game, right? A thing that I love and I hate, right? Because you'll just be in an area, and then your HUD will pop up, and I'm just like, "Fuck, there's something nearby that wants to fight me," right?
Mm-hmm.
And it could be anything. Like, you could just walk by a camp at the wrong time. You can just be, or you can have wolves rain down on you from the sky, which was fucking wild.
Yep. Yeah, that happens.
That happened to me like twice, and don't bother trying to outrun it because they'll still like drop down from the sky from you. They teleport to you.
Have you found the death bird yet in the lake?
The death bird in the lake? No.
There's a death bird that I ran the fuck away from. It's called a death bird. So I was like, nope, not today.
Have you guys tried fighting the dragon in the lake in Lingrave?
No, don't be stupid.
Yes, I have.
Did you fight? Did you
twice?
Try it?
I tried it. Kicked my ass twice.
That thing scared the shit out, because I think it was when me and Adam were talking about last week, and I was like, someone mentioned like stay away from the lake. I was like, okay, I'm not going in there. And in the end, I started having a bit of an explore, and then I thought, where is this dragon? Because I found the burnt ruins or whatever they're called, and I was like kind of exploring around there, and then a little while later, the thing woke up, and I was like, shit. It's like charging at me, and I was out of there. I was like, I'm not even gonna go there. But my biggest,
we found it asleep, huh?
It wasn't. Yeah, I'm sure. It was
oh no,
just
mine flew in and started flaming fire at me.
Maybe it did. Then maybe because 1 minute it was I did not see it, and then all of a sudden I was like, what the fuck? So yeah, maybe it did fly. I didn't see that bit. But my biggest what the fuck moment was, I think it was like the day after we were doing the podcast, because I was saying I was staying away from the area. And then I went into, and you guys have probably done the same, I imagine, but I assume anyway, but I went into the burnt ruins, and then I went down into that tunnel. You know what I'm talking about, where there's a chest?
Oh, so I've been down that tunnel. I might need to go back then.
Yeah, so if you go to in the lake, there's like the ruins, and then you go down there, and I thought, I'll check these out. And then it's like a load of giant rats down there.
No.
Oh, and fuck the rats.
And killed the rats, and then I went into a room, and there was a chest, and I thought, yeah, come on. Like, I got a nice bit of, and I opened the chest, and then it just started teleporting me.
Yep.
And then I was like, what's going on? And then it teleported me to what at this point I thought was just like the other side of the world map, but it's just literally on the other side of, like, the east side of Lingrave, like literally right over the other side, which I showed you. Like, and I was like,
you were in the bad
what
area.
the fuck's going on? And then I'm literally in this hut, and all I can hear is this like clinking and stuff. I look around me, and I'm inside like some kind of crystal mine, and there's just all these like crystal things walking around. I'm like, what the I was like, what is going on here? And I thought, I've got to get out of here. Like, and I tried hitting one of them, and I was barely took down its health, and they're all going after me. And I literally just like am just running for it, running through these caverns, and like these things are chasing after me. They're like just like they're weird like crystal things, and I'm just running in the direction. I'm just hoping I'm trying to find an exit. And then luckily I went through a cave, and I found a point of grace, and then I rested, and then I went out of the cave, and then that's where I sent a picture to you guys. I was like, where am I? It was like the blood red sky. There was just this toxic river. I was like, and then I just tried making my way back. Like, I just thought, I'm going to just try and see what's going on. And I'm like, obviously running in darkness on the map, because I don't know where I am. I'm just kind of like, just kind of figuring things out, and discovering all kinds of shit on the way back, just trying to make it back to where I came from before. But that was the moment where my first moment when I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. Like, that it does stuff like this. Absolutely crazy.
That is not the only chest out there.
Yeah,
I've not found a chest that teleports me yet. I've not found any of them. I did.
Have you done Rusty Patches?
I don't know where Patches is. I don't understand. No. What the one thing I did get to do that was really cool, and it's not really a spoiler. It's because I think there's a ton of videos of it. Is there's 4 big, like churches, basically towers on a hill near the starting area. You just work your way up the mountain to the side, and you go up there, and there's 4, and at the top there's one of those stone key things, and then you can choose one of the towers to unlock, and a teleport comes on, and I just chose the top one, and it takes you into a special world, and you go through, and all the signs on the floor said revenge, and I was just like, okay, well, what is this? You fight the starting boss, the one that kills you at the beginning of the game, to send you into you get to go back and get your revenge. But then it says, like, yeah, you do it, and then I came out, and then I stood on the edge of the cliff, and it collapsed and killed me. So like, I killed the boss, but you do it.
Sounds right, yeah.
And I just walked back out, and I was like, oh, great, okay. And then I was like, well, how do I get, where am I? Is there a way down? Stood on the edge of the cliff, and the cliff just collapsed. And it then teleports you back. You've lost all your runes. Like, so yeah.
Lovely.
That was fun. The question I have for everyone, before I ask for help, is what's everyone's loadout? What are they wielding at the moment? Are they shield and sword? Are they what are we?
Sword and shield.
Yeah, so I chose the what's the knight class?
Vanguard.
The Vagabond?
Yeah,
sorry.
and I'm literally just rocking the same shit I started with.
Yeah,
Same shit. Like I've not picked up any. Only thing I gained was I got a talisman, a cool talisman that gives me good like fire resistance or something like that. Because I went into some like little kind of cave dungeon. And there was like I don't know what you want to call him, like mini boss. Like it wasn't obviously like, or maybe it was just a boss. Because I got like the whole thing like that flashed up that I killed him, and he went into like that instance, and it was pretty tough. But I did him. I think it was like first try or second try. But other than that, I'm just rocking the same shit. I took my helm off so I can go down to medium, like weight, so I can, because my God, like trying to roll in as heavy, not worth it. So yeah, just wearing just the same old tarnished shit. But yeah, sword and shield, absolutely, because that's just the only way I've played these games. I like to take it very slowly, bit of dodging, bit of blocking, and going for I do like trying to, wherever I can, take out a camp stealth wise and go in for that.
Yep.
Kill, because that can help a lot.
I'm still rocking the same armor because I've not actually found any decent armor yet. So at all. So I'm still in the same. I'm the same as you. I restarted on the PlayStation as well. So I'm the same. What is it? What did we call it?
Vagabond.
Vagabond. Yes, I'm the Vagabond. But I'm actually not using a shield anymore. I sword and staff, because I've got a few spells that I can to give me a bit of a ranged option. Because once I spray my mist and I stay away, I can just pepper them with spells. And the bow and arrow I think is a bit clunky. I'm not too keen on it.
It's not great.
It's not great. So I'm using the staff. What about you? What about you, Vince? What are you using?
Oh man, I'm using. I mean, I started as the Vagabond.
Well, I saw you like porcupine looking fucking whatever.
Oh
that
yeah,
was.
the grafted greatsword.
Yeah.
Can't wield it yet because you need 40 strength to wield it properly. It's great, but I haven't used it. I want to use it because it looks badass. But I have been using the Lord Sworn Greatsword. It's basically just a long sword. I did find the Zweihander, which I have a fond attachment to because it's been in every Dark Souls game, probably. And I beat Dark Souls 1 with it. So I might try to find a way to pump levels into it.
Yeah.
Again, it's basically a bastard sword, so it's extremely long. So as soon as I equip it, I immediately go up to heavy load. So probably gonna pump some endurance up to get my equipment load up so I can actually use it, or take more clothes off because it's an option. I do have a different shield. I don't remember what it's called, but it has a little bit better stats than your starting shield.
I have a long shield that I found that was quite good, but I just don't use it because there's not that many projectiles that you can't just dodge. Really, like
putting your runes in. What stats are you just kind of putting them?
So I was like you at first. I was putting everything into strength because I found a great axe that I wanted to use that needed level 30 strength, so I was piling them into there, and then I picked up the great axe, and I didn't realize how slow it swung. So
big weapons swing slow.
Yeah, never use that again. So now I'm kind of pumping it into to use the spell that I have. I needed to have faith at level 16 and intelligence at level 12, so I got them. Yeah, so but like I said, I'm working up to 24 for them. I had put a little bit into stamina and stuff like that, but I need to start leveling up my magic as well because.
What about your health? Do you guys put much into your health?
I did a little bit, but not so much. It's something that I probably do need to work on because I can be one hit killed quite easily by a lot of things. So, like I said, my level does not equate my ability. Like my ability is still poor, and I'm terrible at the game.
It helps. It helps.
Yeah. There's one boss I want to get to, and it's not one of the main bosses. But there's a way you can, if you take off all your clothes, you can do a longer jump, a slightly longer jump, and you don't go through the portal. You go onto the wall, like, you can go through the golden veil or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You go in, first of all, make sure you don't have any runes, or you can collect them when you go in. Get killed by it on purpose, because then it'll create the veil. Like, you take off your clothes, you jump, you do this weird jump onto the wall, jump into his area. Because you haven't gone from the veil, it doesn't realize you're in there. So just equip everything and just beat the fuck out of it, and you get 600,000 runes. Like, that is the goal I am aiming for, because I get there, then my sword will work. That's all I want to do. And I've got the twin blade, and there's a fire thing that you can attach to your swords. The twin blade is obviously, you hold it, and it's got the two blades.
I've got a twin blade.
If you get the fire thing, it turns it red, and it just looks like Darth Maul's lightsaber.
Oh my god! So I've got the twin blade, but I don't feel like any of these stats are better than.
You have to level it up, and it levels quite high compared to the sword, apparently.
Yes, I have. Yeah, I got that.
I've got that, but
it also depends on how it scales as well, and what it scales with. So I feel like twin blade might be dex.
Yeah, it's dex. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
if you have a higher dex, it'll hit harder.
Right, got you.
Which I'm still working out all that shit. So
yeah,
but I just want to use the ice and the fire and night sword, because as you're swinging, you can use your other button to your L1 or L2 to swing, and if you use L1 and swing, ice shoots out of it as you're swinging the sword. L2 fire shoots out of it if you're swinging it, and you can do good area damage. And then there's a mimic that I want. You can summon a mimic, and it is a perfect mimic of you at whatever level you are, whatever you're wielding when you summon it. So it creates a new you.
That's amazing.
So you can have a second loadout, give it heavy weapons and everything, have heavy weapons in your hand, summon it, then change your loadout back to yours, but it will keep the heavy weapons.
That's really cool.
Holy shit.
So there's so much stuff you can do with it, like that. And I'm just like, but you have to be such high level to even get to these areas.
Yeah.
So I don't know any of the bosses. I have no fucking clue what's coming. I just have these goals that I'm setting for myself.
I'm playing this.
Yeah.
I'm very much going into this dark. Like I said to you, Adam, like when I started the game, I watched like a couple of like tutorial videos.
Yeah,
just
saying,
had to
like,
watch
a few. Just
these are the things that you should do at the very beginning. Like like I'm glad I watched those because I made sure I bought a torch and bought a crafting kit and stuff like. Because I would have not even known to like do that. But other than that, I'm just completely going blind, and I'm going to see how that goes. Because I mean, obviously, I see things like people posting stuff on Twitter, and we're having conversations. But I'm liking just going out there, not knowing what's going out there, because I'm very much like the way I'm playing it is like I'm trying to like discover like every last inch of the map where I'm at. Like so, like at the minute I'm just like fully. I'm still in Lingro, and I'm just completely exploring every little cavern, every little thing. I'm going around the coastline. I just want to.
Have you killed the big bear yet? In the woods.
The big bear?
No.
No, I've not fucking killed the big bear. There's
like 3 big bears in there.
Have you picked up the map for the Misty Woods?
Is that the big bear? No.
If you pick up the map where the Misty Woods are, there's a massive bear scratching a tree. But I'm on about massive fucking bear. There's 2 of them, but this is the big one. And boy, does it fuck you up. Like,
sure.
yeah, it's
I look forward to that.
so hard to beat, but it's in your
But
area.
that's what I love about it. And for me, the favorite things about this game to me is just like I said, I've always appreciated games that just leave you be, just like let
Go do
you.
what you want.
You're isolated. You're not being told what to do. There's not like a million things going. Blah, 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 blah. You got to do this. Got to do that. That just kind of gives me anxiety. That I just feel like I need to do it and I need to clear it all. I just feel like I'm just do what I want, and I'm enjoying that. I'm just enjoying just kind of exploring and finding things for myself and making my own little adventures and coming out with my own little stories, like from exploring each day. And I just love it. I love like going to the edge of a cliff and getting out my telescope and just looking down and seeing what's around, and I can see like a church or a hut in the distance. Like, oh, what's over there? I want to see it. There's just have you guys come across those bird's eye things?
Yeah, when you can look at the point of view.
I came across one of those, and I was like looking across, and I saw this one thing like stood out. It looked like a statue. It just looked like really cool, looked different. I thought, I want to go check that out, and I made my way over to it. Don't know if you guys went to this thing, and I went near it, and this thing just like came alive and just like a big robot thing, and just started chasing me down and scared the shit out of me.
Holy shit!
Because it looked like it was just this like I don't know what it was, like a statue, and it just came alive and just like. It was scary. It was like this big machine puppet thing, and I was like, "Oh my god!" It was wiped me out.
Have you seen the massive heads with the flames coming out of them, like robot heads? They can fuck off.
Fucking terrifying. Yeah,
they can fuck right off. Like
the thing is, I found like a graveyard of those. I was like, well, "What the hell is happening?" And then like I was walking through the area at night, and there was one rolling down the road on fire. I was like, "Yep,
not today. No, thank you." Like there is some things. Man,
have you found the walking mausoleums yet?
No, but I've seen them. They can fuck off as well.
Where is that?
There's a few.
There's
all over.
one in Limgrave. That's like the first one I found.
I didn't find the one in Limgrave. I found,
That's what I forgot to say as well. So when I got teleported over to that cave and I made my way out. And then I went north, and that's when I discovered I forgot the name of it now, but there's like a city of all the magic, all the sorcerers. You know what I'm talking about? Have you been there?
What, the academy?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think it was anywhere near the academy.
Oh, no,
I forgot what it's called, but it's like, these things like, they are like, they look like Roman, like Greek kind of statues. They're just all...
Oh, those things. They're awful, yeah.
Yeah, and I was just running through the city, and they're literally just like, pounding spells at me, and I'm just like riding through like these corridors, and these spells are hitting the walls. I'm like, fuck, I gotta get out of here. But oh my god, that was not fun there, not fun at all.
Like there's a lot of
and it's just crazy. Yeah, you just feel like it's just so much and just you really feel like you're in this world that just like every inch of this world just wants to kill you, and it's just like horrible. The music's beautiful. I love the music. I love how it's just so like you, especially just in the beginning area in Limgrave, like it's just so atmospheric and just kind of calm, and it's just like it's nice. It's nice.
The thing I think I like the most about this game is I think it's the first time that I've been so excited to come on the podcast to talk about a game, because we're all going to have very different experiences because it's not a linear game. You've got Terry, who is like the hobbits that don't leave the Shire. Like, as long as there's grass there, he'll stay there. Like, that's where he is.
Next week, it's going to be like, this is the furthest from home I've ever been.
I know. Then you've got Vince, who's like Gandalf, like the wise, who kind of knows what's ahead and what to do, and has the beard. And then I'm just pottering around fucking clueless. Like Dobby the house elf, just bobbing around, like just going, like saying, "Are you gonna be my friend? Nope, you're trying to kill me." Like just stumbling my way through it. But we're all having very different experiences. But I'm having a lot of fun with the game.
Great, yeah.
Like I can't wait to carry on playing it.
What can we call it? Surely this has got to be a segment in every episode now, where we just kind of talk about what's happening in Elden Ring, but like
Tarnished talk.
Tales of the Tarnished.
Tales of the Tarnished is quite good.
That's very good.
There you go. Tales of the Tarnished.
Tales of the Tarnished.
What the hell has happened to our screen? Why is it?
I feel like we're gonna have endless amounts of stories.
Oh yeah, this game is full of moments like that, and it's.
What is that?
I love it.
That. Oh god, that's just changed on that. Is it because I changed?
We're
the
still
sound?
alive, so.
No, we're live, but for some reason you
Oh
guys.
nope. There was like multiple of you on the screen for a second.
Yeah, no, it shouldn't be. No, it should be normal.
Yep, we're back.
Yeah, I was. I realized for some reason if I move this window at all, like it changes it for everybody. So we are.
Just before we move off of Elden Ring, I did want to mention that I am very happy to obviously see how well it was received critically, and like I do think that this is going to be the game to beat this year. This is like the game of the year, but I was absolutely shocked at the sales.
Oh,
that is one thing I did not see coming in a million years. The biggest selling release since Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah, it's
what?
Ridiculous.
What game?
But seriously, who the hell saw that coming?
Not me. I knew it'd sell well, but not that level.
This
game
crazy.
Is it's like lightning in a bottle.
And it'll only keep going because I just feel like it's one of those games. It's just gonna. It's got that momentum like through the social media and for people streaming it. Like you say, like this is going to keep happening. People are going to have these stories and stuff, and then more people are going to jump on and go, "Oh, what's this then?" And I think it's going to have some legs.
Question for you both, actually. Did they do DLC or anything for these games? I don't think they do, did they? Is it just...
Yes.
Oh, they do they?
The only one they didn't do DLC for was Sekiro.
Okay.
And Demon Souls.
So what is the DLC usually? Is it new areas, or is it just like new bosses added into the areas?
It's new areas. Okay. So, like, the Artorias of the Abyss DLC for Dark Souls 1. Mm-hmm. It's essentially a new area with new bosses, right? Dark Souls 2 had like 3 or 4 DLCs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
there's
when
still
they
a lot of
DLC,
sales to go for this.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm guessing in Elden Ring there's going to be quite a few. There's a lot of areas they can...
potentially. Like, it feels like one of those games where it could go either way. Like, they could just churn out DLC like they did for the other ones, or this is just kind of its own experience, right?
I don't think it needs DLC. I think.
I was going to say, I think this game looks like it's got so much.
They've packed so much into this game that there's no way it needs DLC.
Anyway,
but I wouldn't be mad if they added it.
We'll see. Probably in a year's time or so.
Maybe.
Shall we talk about the Batman?
Please.
Yeah. Talk about Batman.
Let's talk about the Batman. We've talked a lot about I was going to say Elden Scrolls. I'm getting very confused. Elden Ring. So yeah, we've all seen the Batman.
We've all seen the Batman.
So first, what I wanted to do was each of us just to give a 1-sentence review of the Batman, and then we'll go into the minutia. No spoilers, very light story plots, and then we'll go into spoilers at the very, very end. Vince.
Yeah.
What is your 1-line review?
1 line or 1 sentence?
Well, 1 sentence. You know what I mean.
1 sentence. The Batman is very good.
Okay, and we'll end the podcast there.
Yeah.
Terry?
I could elaborate more.
No, we will do it in a minute. But
I'm just going to keep it short. I want to, this is something you can just kind of stamp on the case when the Blu-ray gets released. So, feel free to do that, Warner Brothers. The best Batman movie yet.
My 1-sentence review is, I agree with Terry.
that would be underneath on the box quote.
The sub one, yeah. I agree with Terry. Right.
And I'll obviously go into that in more detail, but yeah, that would be my. Yeah.
Okay, Terry. We'll come to you last on this one because obviously you're a huge Batman fan as well. Vince, we'll come to you first on this one. You had to wait so patiently with Elden Ring. You said this is a good film.
It is a good film. Yes.
I know with your tone, you've got issues. Yeah.
I do, but we'll save it for spoilers because most of my issues are story related.
Okay, just give us your overall thoughts.
Yeah, beautiful cinematography. Like Matt Reeves is such a great choice to do anything really, because I've loved his work since Planet of the Apes, because those films are obviously beautiful as well. No difference here. Like, from the lighting to the score, even.
Oh, the score. Oh.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. The Riddler, absolutely terrifying in the best way. I really love that we've moved to a villain we haven't seen since, what, the 90s in live action?
Yeah.
5.
Since Jim Carrey, which is a tough act to follow.
Yeah.
But, yeah. But fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Robert Pattinson, great Batman. Unsure of his Bruce Wayne.
Oh.
I'll say that much. He felt very awkward as Bruce Wayne. Even, like, he probably needs facial hair. I'll say that. Because he looks like he's 17 years old. Bruce Wayne.
The emo haircut didn't help, but well,
it didn't help at all. But yeah, I'll let that slide because him as Batman was great. And yes, this is that's not really a spoiler. It's only his second year being Batman, right?
Yeah.
So
that's established. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't really fault him for not finding that balance quite yet.
There's no Bruce Wayne yet, and I like that.
No.
Bruce Wayne's an alter ego he hasn't developed, and I really like that about it.
Yeah. That
we'll get to you soon, Terry. We'll get to you
soon.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. But overall, like, I'm gonna say it. I don't want to say it, but it's too long.
Okay.
It's too long. It feels like there was kind of wasted space. I won't. Part of me wants to elaborate a little bit because we go back to the same place 4 different times, right?
Mm-hmm.
We go back to the same location 4 different times for multiple story beats. Yeah. But again, that's probably constraints a little bit.
Did give us one of the funnest little ongoing jokes though in the film. I feel like if we're on about the door, if we're on about
yes,
I love that. Yeah. I love that.
I love
that was a good joke.
But yeah, I understand what you mean.
Good. Yeah, it feels like it was also trying to do a lot. Granted, this was supposed to be a standalone film, so that makes sense. But it also kind of sets things up for the future, which I'm a little lukewarm on. I'll say that.
Okay.
Yeah. That'll end it. I think I don't have any more thoughts until we push later in the episode for spoilers.
Yeah, it's hard to kind of.
It's hard.
It's really hard. Yeah,
we'll be there. We'll be there pretty soon.
Also, that opening scene, fucking phenomenal. Okay,
God,
there we go.
Yeah, I think the opening 10-15 minutes of this was absolutely incredible.
It was so good.
Yeah, the score, I think, it's probably the second best Batman score there's ever been. Like, and that's saying something because because what did you say? Sorry.
Big fan of Seal, huh?
That's it. Yeah. Kiss from a Rose, like incredible.
Yeah.
And that's saying something because I love Zimmer's music, but I still think the original Batman, the 1986. Batman
I mean, we've been spoiled over the years.
Oh, yeah. Batman's always had really good scores, I think, but this one is so good, and I think it's the closest to the original. It's got the organ in there. It's got the almost the da-na-na-na. It's all in there, and it's fantastic how they do it. Cinematography, you're right. It looks incredible. It has a bit of Villeneuve about it as well. I think some of the colors very muted, very earthy colors, very much like Blade Runner.
I was going to say the same. Yeah, I get major vibes from Blade Runner.
Yeah, so which is a good thing. Because I think that was one of the best looking films we've had in a long time. I know a lot of people are saying Dune is similar. I will get to watching that soon.
Fucking movie, damn.
I know, yeah. And I think I don't agree with the length. I thought the length was good, but I can see where you're coming from. I was okay with it, but I can see where, you're right. They did go to some areas quite a bit. I thought the supporting cast in this were phenomenal. I thought Colin Farrell was incredible. Just how
Will Ferrell was in this film?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Some of the Easter eggs in this film were really cool, like little nods and stuff like that. And poor Dano. What a take on the Riddler that is.
Yeah.
And the second half of the film, which we'll go into in the spoiler territory, where like he's even better. Like,
I'll agree.
And Robert Pattinson. I do agree with you that his Bruce is weaker than his Batman, but I do think that that's a deliberate choice because I don't think he isn't Playboy Bruce yet. Because if Terry's right, Batman is who he is at the moment. Bruce is the alter ego. He hasn't found that balance yet where he realizes he has to be Bruce and Batman. At the moment, he's Batman who sometimes has to be Bruce. And I don't think he's got that balance yet. Yeah, the emo hair doesn't help. No. But
it was rough.
It was rough. And the opening 10-15 minutes, the reveal of Batman in this film is the best it has ever been. The best it has ever been, and is one of my favorite moments of cinematography. Like that, just the way they did it was holy shit, goosebumps, big smile.
The sound design.
Oh, the sound design.
Shit.
Like, so good. Terry, we'll go to you before we go into more spoiler territory.
Yeah, I'll try and keep it a bit brief before going to spoilers. But yeah, this is my favorite Batman film, and the reason I say my favorite Batman film is because obviously we always matching everything up against like the Dark Knight, and and it's hard to say. And I knew, and coming out this film, I absolutely adored it. But I also knew I come out of it and thought this is not going to be for everyone.
No,
this is. I come out of it thinking this is going to divide people. I think there's going to be a lot of people that don't like this film. It's not going to be for them, but it was absolutely for me. It's like if you could, it was everything I was hoping it would be. It's like everything I would want a Batman film to be, and but it's so hard when you're kind of rating things up to something like The Dark Knight, because I think The Dark Knight is just a great film in its own right. I mean, it's Christopher Nolan. It's just like everything about it. But as a Batman film, this is like the closest we've ever got to
the comics,
the Batman that I love from the comics. Like, and there's many, many different types of comics and graphic novels out there, but there's the ones that I'm drawn towards. This seemed to just borrow everything from, like some of my favorite runs, like Year One and The Long Halloween and Court of the Owls, or like even The Dark Knight Returns, and Zero Year. Like, it was just like you took all these elements from all of those stories, not even just story beats, but just like the tone and like just all the best bits from those comics. And just, I like Batman best in the comics when it is dark and it is gritty and it is noir and it is like a detective kind of thing. And like we got that for the first time. It was like this detective thriller film, and they made Batman scary again. Like we got a hint of that in Batman Begins, and then that kind of disappeared, and they really played on that again in this one. This Batman that is like puts the fear in people, hides in the shadows, and I actually had to make notes because there's so many stuff I had to go through. So like, what can I talk about going to spoilers? Like the Gotham, this is the best Gotham we've ever seen on screen. It's like, it was just like a fully realized Gotham that somehow managed to like take the best bits of like the hyper stylized like Tim Burton Gotham, but also made it feel real.
Yeah,
like but its own distinctive place, and it had this kind of classic look mixed with modern. It was just, it felt dangerous. You really felt like this was a place that you didn't want to be, and you felt like how it was just on the brink of collapse. I mean, one of the reasons I was excited about this is because, like, in the same way that Joker was like, I felt a love letter to like Scorsese. It was very much shot in the same style as Scorsese and Taxi Driver. Like, I feel like this film was like a love letter to David Fincher. Like, and Seven is like my favorite thriller of all time. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. And this just everything about it, like it just felt like a David Fincher film, like Zodiac and Seven. I really liked. Yeah, I mean the cast were great throughout, and I can see where you guys where you're coming from with the Bruce Wayne, but yeah, I do feel that this Batman is like there's literally no difference between Batman and Bruce Wayne in this film. It's just like they're the same person. He's just wearing a suit. And yeah, I mean, like you got to remember, like when we saw Batman Begins, we only saw a little bit of that Bruce Wayne. You know, when we see him like young and that's the Bruce Wayne we've got here right now. It's this like it's this person that's just a recluse. He's just hiding. You know, I love the fact. I don't want to go into spoilers, but yeah, I just the bat suit, the Batmobile. The cast throughout were just fantastic. Particularly, I thought Zoe Kravitz was really good, and also what they did with the character. Yeah, they just seem to just nail everything for me. I didn't think it was too long, but I can see how people may feel that. I was just having such a good time. I didn't want to leave this world, and I felt like they set up so much. I think Matt Reeves kind of did so well to set up this world. And feel like it was this fully functioning thing, and it had all these moving parts that all connected with the different characters, not even just the main characters, like the ones that we kind of know. I don't want to go into like names and stuff because I don't think maybe you should know about them, but yeah, I just felt like it really kind of set up this universe that I just wanted to get more from. I just thought, oh my god, I can't wait to see the next part, so like of this story, you know, and just get deeper into this world of yeah, so I just absolutely loved it, adored it, and I just want to see. It's all I've been thinking about, and the score, fuck me, like Giacchino, like has always been up there with my favorite. Like ever since, obviously, diehard Lost fan. Ever since Lost, he's been one of my favorite composers, and but this is just something else. I've been listening to it non-stop. This goddamn theme, Jesus Christ, the way it builds, it's got this like weird, like you listen to it, it's got like a. I can't even explain it. It's got these like kind of. It's got like those kind of brass in there, like the trumpet. So it's almost got this weird kind of 20s, 30s feel to it, and but then it will kind of build up, and it's just so good. It's and yeah, the reveal of Batman. I mean, I want to go into when we go into the spoilers, the beginning scenes, but wow. But yeah, loved it, and the coloring, everything, cinematography is just incredible, and yeah, it really reminded me of Blade Runner. Yeah, big time. Like the way that it just hangs on these wide shots, and you just really get a kind of feel and a taste of like this world. It's just great stuff.
So we've given our like non-spoiler reviews, and if you haven't seen the film yet, go watch it. We're now going to move into spoiler territory. We're now going to talk about the film in depth, what we like, what we don't like, the story, everything like that. So if you haven't seen it yet and you're going to see it, go see it, then come back and watch the VOD of this to see what we think. But we're going into spoilers now. So the reveal of Batman coming out of the fucking shadows, and how they tease it, like as in when they have all the falses, is he going to come out of this shadow? Is it? And then the way the camera is set up, and it's just black, and he just starts to appear.
Yeah, just
like,
hear the
I've
boots.
got goosebumps now.
Yeah.
Like
I've got goosebumps just thinking about like the. I tell you what, the moment that just I was just giddy inside.
Yeah.
Before that moment was something that there were so many things that I wished for this film, and it was. But then there were some things that I didn't even think about. And the way that it started, and it started with narrating.
Oh, I love the narration.
Fuck.
Yeah.
God.
And I was just like, oh my God, this is just like a Batman comic book. This is just like when the way the panels open up and we're getting the text box at the beginning. It's like we always get the inner monologue of Batman. And we were like, and I was like, oh shit, they're doing that. And it was just like, I was like, oh my God, this is just perfect. This is starting perfectly. And then, like you say, then setting up this thing that the idea that, you know, that people know that he's out there and strike it, and that he can't be everywhere. And that, but people think that he is. And oh man,
I love that. And then, but also just to pull it back just a little bit further, you could tell this was not going to be a normal superhero film when the first scene is a POV from the Riddler
breathing heavily,
heavily into a mask and going in to murder, to murder someone, and
which was genuinely unsettling. That bit where he's like standing behind him, like,
absolutely.
I was like, I don't like horror films. What have I signed myself up for? But it was so good. Vince, did you enjoy that reveal of Batman?
The reveal of Batman, absolutely. The narration, fuck no.
Oh, you didn't like it?
Oh, wow.
I did not like the narration. I felt like it was it coming after the Riddler scene to begin with. To the Riddler scene essentially setting the tone for the film. You are getting a dark, fucked up film with a very fucked up and dark villain. And then cutting to the narration was so off-putting for, what just happened.
Okay.
Right? Like, it was such a solid start to the film that the voiceover was unnecessary. Like, if you could have just done that scene without the VO, I feel like it might have worked a little bit better. Because you don't see the fear in the criminal's eyes until they see the bat signal. I feel like that's all you had to do. Because that means, for one, the criminals see the bat signal and they're like, oh fuck, he's out on the hunt tonight, right? And then they start running away. Which was... And then they just started looking to the shadows, right? Looking through these doorways, expecting him to come and still being frightened. Mm-hmm. And then jumping into the scene we got from the trailers where he's beating the shit out of what seems to be Joker thugs, which probably are Joker thugs because I'll get to that later. That should be all that's necessary for you to know that Batman is using fear to get criminals off the streets, right? Because he is brutalizing these guys in the street very savagely.
So satisfying, though.
Yeah. So satisfying.
Yeah. And I do like that the guy, after he fights them all, the guy who he's saving is terrified of him. Because that's how he should be. Because he's a guy in a fucking bat suit. But yeah.
I really armored bat suit, too.
Yeah.
Very bulletproof.
I really liked the narration. Because I feel like it did fit more to the comics and gave it this... The film is very noir. It has a lot of noir overtones, and the narration in them is such a stylized thing. I can totally see where you're coming from, because it is a choice.
It was very the first thing that came to mind was very Rorschach in Watchmen, obviously the diary, and I thought it was going to be like that all the way through, but obviously it was just
I'm glad it wasn't.
Yeah, I think it'd be a bit ridiculous all the way through.
But you sparingly, it's not terrible.
Yeah,
I forgot about it partway through the film anyway, so it didn't ruin my enjoyment.
Obviously, let's talk about I guess the story, the beginning of the story. We obviously have this set up. We see the kind of Batman we're getting. We see our first look at Paul Dano, and then you get the scene, obviously, of him in there's a little bit, and then it's the scene of him, obviously, at the crime scene.
Yeah.
And you've got, I can never remember his name, from what's he called? He played Alfred in this. I can never remember his name.
Oh, Andy Serkis?
Not Alfred, sorry. Gordon.
Oh, Gordon.
Gordon, sorry.
Fuck, I can't remember his name either. He was in Westworld.
Yeah, Westworld is what I know.
Actor.
He's fantastic, yeah. Absolutely fantastic actor.
Phone doesn't work. Oh, no, it does.
But anyway, I thought he was really good as Gordon.
He was great. He was great, Gordon.
That detective scene, with Batman being a detective, that first moment of it was just yes, this is what I want. Him looking at the scenes, the envelopes, all of this was fantastic. Terry, this must have been
Jeffrey
Wright.
For you.
Jeffrey Wright, yeah, of course. I mean, Jeffrey Wright was fantastic as Gordon, but going to this scene, I mean, going back to the comparisons to Seven, I was getting major like Seven vibes off of this.
What's in the box?
Yeah, and just the way. One thing as well about this film is that it is so. I mean, it's the most grounded version of Batman we've had yet. Like literally, there's like. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but literally everything that happens in this film, you feel like it could happen. You know what I mean? It's like, and I loved also the way that obviously, being this set in year 2, the way that the police just think this guy's they just think they don't trust him, but they think he's a freak. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? Like, this guy's walking in a fucking bat costume. Like it's just like. And the fact, like, why the hell, like, saying, like, to Gordon, why the hell are you letting him in here? Like, he could have been the guy that murdered him. Like, you know, he's a vigilante. I just loved all that, and the way he's, like, inspecting the scene. It was just great. It was the whole setup, the way they did that. Loved it. Also, my God, and I know they used it in trailers. I just love that they used, on a couple of occasions, they used Something in the Way by Nirvana, because it just works. It's always been my favorite song by Nirvana. Don't know why, I just absolutely love it, and it just works so well in this. It's just works so well in this film.
Yeah, I think there was such a good. I know we'll talk about it later. The scene in the police station, like which I thought was fantastic, and also had one of the best lines I think Batman has ever said. Like, which we'll get to.
What scene was that?
The scene when he wakes up in the police station and there's all the police in the room.
And they're trying to get the mask off him.
And they're trying to get the mask off him. And then they turn around and he says, "We've got you on 2 counts of assault against a police officer." He says, "It was 3 counts of assault." It's just such a good line. But I think the testament to this film is, you kind of touched on it then, every scene with Batman doesn't feel like a comic book. It's very grounded. It's more bizarre seeing him as Bruce Wayne than it is as Batman. I think his Batman is fantastic. I think the voice is great. I think his the way he moves, and how raw it is, and obviously we know he'll develop and stuff like that. One criticism I did have of this film, and it's a small one, with Paul Dano, is when he kept doing the camcorder bits. Very much like he's doing a impression of Heath Ledger when the Joker did his camera bits. It was a little bit too similar in those moments. It's kind of like almost more than a nod.
He had the
laugh.
Did come to the mind, but it came to mind when I was watching it. I was like, oh yeah, it's very similar to the Joker thing.
And it's the only time it took me out, and I went, oh, okay, this is a little bit weird. Vince, I know you didn't like the voiceover stuff. Within the story and the stuff that you want to talk about, was there anything that you really liked or also didn't like that you want to?
I mean, don't get me wrong, I absolutely loved that it focused more on the world's greatest detective, right?
Mm-hmm.
That being Batman.
Yeah.
And it works so well for the Riddler being the villain, right?
Yeah.
Because Riddler is very much a cerebral villain.
Mm-hmm.
You don't just punch the Riddler. You outsmart the Riddler. And I feel like that's came through very well for this film, and setting up that this is this version of Batman, right? He doesn't solve everything by punching. He also has the smarts to back him up, right? The major problem I had with it, and I mentioned it in the spoiler-free part of it, trying to do too many things, is I wish it didn't all circle back to Carmine Falcone, right? Like, I don't feel like that was needed, because I feel like you can make a good Riddler story probably without shuffling to another villain.
I guess it was a tentative link. It was a very tentative link, I guess.
It was, because, I mean, for the longest time, it was like finding out who the rat was the rat, which, you know, that's a pretty good through line, right?
Yeah.
But then I don't want to say the film shoehorned too many villains into it, because the villains it did have were used sparingly and well. Like the Penguin, for example, right? He was used sparingly, but he was fantastic. Like Colin Farrell nailed it.
Oh yeah.
Even though, like, I mean, the whole, we can just get right to the car chase scene, right? Probably the best car chase put to film.
It was incredible. That Batmobile.
The Batmobile is fantastic.
Can we
The
just talk
sound.
about him stalling the Batmobile, please? Let's see. Like, there's the build up, and then he stalls it, and then then he goes. Like, I love that.
It's stuff
was
like
the
that though.
intimidation
There's
factor, right?
the human elements. Like the bit that comes to mind is the bit when he's trying to escape the cops, and he goes up to the top of the roof.
Oh, the wingsuit.
And he's shitting himself like that. He's got to jump off, and he has to take a deep breath, and then he pulls that kind of wingsuit, and it's just like you don't see that in with Batman. It's just like,
and then
fuck.
swings into a bridge and absolutely eats shit. Like,
and just like limps off. Just, oh, fuck. Like, I love it. I just love that this is this early Batman, which again reminds me of like year 1 and 0 year. Like, you know, obviously the suit and everything was very. It's weird actually. It's like a mixture of like the suit itself, which I love.
Yeah.
I'd say it's probably my favorite so far, because it's just got this like the mask and everything really reminds me of like. It's got this kind of like Zorro feel to it, you know, obviously, which is Batman's kind of has a lot of nods to it. I think they even mentioned, someone calls him Zorro in the film, but like, it's got this kind of classic
very
look to it.
Homemade, right?
Yeah, it looks homemade. Like
final version of the suit, it feels like this was his like 3rd or 4th attempt at trying to make something functional yet terrifying.
Stuff doesn't match. There's like different. It's just literally just like normal boots and stuff. It's like. And everything feels like, it's as, you know, like it's possible that this stuff could have been put together. The car looks like just a fucking muscle car with a jet like engine put on the back of it.
Well, it's a fully working car.
Yeah, but it reminds me of like Kylo Ren's like lightsaber, where it's like this thing shouldn't be like
it's been modded.
He's modded, he's tinkered with it, and it's like it's literally just hanging on, like, and like the same with the suit. I love that he rides around, like mostly gets made to be rides around on his bike as Bruce Wayne with his helmet on. You know, like he just and it's just got a real raw feeling to it. The whole thing, like I love it.
Yeah, I loved the. I think you're right. It was one of the best chases in the way
that
they did
chase.
it. Yeah, it was so good. And we saw it in the trailer, going through the flames, and you've got Colin Farrell saying, "I got you."
Yeah.
And then he comes through the flames. You're just like, "Oh fuck!" Basically, it's
just
like
yourself moment.
Yeah, like so good. Another scene that was so, and we talk about the cinematography when he's in the corridor when he's doing the fight, and the only light is the gun flashes.
Oh yeah,
as he's just absolutely beating the shit out of them all the way down the corridor. So well done, so well done. Like, I think is on his way to Falcone. Is that when? I think that's what that scene is potentially.
Yeah. And again, like how he eats shit as well. Like just fighting. Yeah. Sometimes just fighting a few, like that scene where he's fighting them on top of the when there's all the different Riddlers, like and they're like just like grabbing his cape and like pulling him along and stuff. Like, it's just there's this kind of realness to it, like where you a lot of the time you're scared for him, like you realize that this is just a normal guy in a suit. Like the fact that someone unloads a shotgun like point blank in his chest, that's gonna fucking take him out like for a bit. Like it's stuff like that. I loved it.
Yeah,
the fact that you see the bullet holes in the suit as well.
Yeah.
It was so. There's so many cool nods in this film as well. Like, I really liked obviously Colin Farrell when they when they had him in the cuffs, and they leave him there, and he's waddling off like a penguin.
Yeah.
Right.
I thought such a cool nod. We spoke about the door when he goes, "Do you know who I am as Batman? Do you know who I am as Bruce Wayne?" And then no one's at the door, and he just twats the guy. like the 3 different iterations of who Batman would be. Like I was just like, oh, that's so well done.
Yeah, I mean Zoe Kravitz's Catwoman, I think she's definitely my favorite version of Catwoman so far that we've seen.
Yeah, they don't. It's set in realism, you know. And they did that with Anne Hathaway. Anne Hathaway's was just a cat burglar. There's no mythical cats that have summoned her, or anything like this or anything like that. She's just a cat burglar.
Yeah, and I did like the chemistry between them both.
Do you think she'll return? Do you think she'll
Yeah.
be in the next one?
Yeah, I mean, not maybe the next one. I mean, you would think so. You would think so because I think there's a good thing going on there. But I mean, I personally loved what they did with Falcone and Maroni and the way they were setting up this bigger picture because in the comics it's always been those are the ones that run Gotham and then you've had like Penguin which becomes a part of that and all these other characters become a part of that, and I like that they were setting up that universe and that you really felt in this Gotham that it is almost like a helpless place, like you really are scared for Gordon, and how you just feel like everyone is bought out in this place and like you can't like look behind his back for 1 second and it's like they're fighting a losing battle kind of thing, and I liked that, and I liked how it fleshed out those characters as well, and what he did with Catwoman, with that, which is is that a thing that's ever been done in the comics? Is that like Catwoman being
no idea.
No, because that I didn't know of because I thought that was
but that was kind of my problem too, right? Like everything was connected to Falcone. Selena Kyle, the Waynes. Which, granted, the Waynes make sense because if he has Falcone has his hands in everyone's pockets. Obviously, it's going to come back to the Waynes as well.
Yeah,
but
that's obviously been touched on in the games. Falcone. Obviously, the Telltale games focused on that quite heavily, like the Falcones and the Waynes.
Yeah,
but
my only criticism of the story is that there was no like.
Poison
obviously
Ivy.
making
Yeah, I agree.
Making these comparisons to films like Seven and stuff. Like with Seven, we were building up these clues, and then there was this big like holy shit twist, like we're like the finding out who John Doe was, or the very ending, like there's always like oh my god, like seeing all the pieces go together. We didn't really get that in this, and like I don't know if like the whole Thomas Wayne thing was meant to be a surprise, but like I went into this film like the very beginning line full well. I don't know if we got hints from that from the trailers, but maybe because they did that, that's what the story of Court of the Owls was, and so I knew it was just like, oh, okay, he's got dirt on Thomas Wayne, and that's going to be his thing. But yeah, so there wasn't really any like big thing. I was like, oh, holy shit, you know what I mean? Like it was just like we was just kind of going along with it, and that was fine. But that was the only thing I can.
Before we talk about the elephant in the room, that I'm sure we're going to get to one of the big talking points from the film. Can we just talk about Paul Dano's, like, especially in the second half when they're in Arkham Asylum?
Yeah,
that scene when they're like with the glass between them.
It's great. That's like when they cast Paul Dano, I was like, my first thought went to Prisoners and how he is in that, and I was just thinking, oh my god, like. Perfect casting and he's that moment is very similar to that character, and where he's just seems
his anguish unstable. That Bruce isn't getting it, and that he isn't on the same page, and that twist of him obviously saying his name continuously, but he doesn't know he's Batman.
Like that was good. That was good.
He doesn't know he's Batman.
Really feel like he does. I don't know.
No, he definitely. Well, my takeaway from it was that he kept saying Bruce's name because he was the one to blame, not that he was Batman.
Yeah.
And because he the way he then talks about how they need to take down Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. That's how I took it away. I don't think we know for sure. So I think that's a good thing about the film.
Yeah. I thought it was kind of cool the way that he thought that he was
the good guy.
On his side, and they were doing this together, and that he was leading them to do all these things was quite cool.
They're the team. He was the strength, and he was the which was really interesting. Like, and I like that they didn't kill him.
Mm.
I do too.
And I like that in the post-credit scene, they obviously very much hint that he will be back.
Right.
So I didn't see. Was there a post-credit scene?
A very small one. It
Like,
comes up on the screen. The question mark appears like he's typing, and then the website comes up. And if you go to the website, the translation is roughly thinking, "Every end has a beginning. Something is coming." Like, so basically implying. I think the wording is a bit different. That is a sentence before that I can't remember. So it does imply that he's going to be in the next film. And we also obviously had the scene with himself and who we very much can believe is the Joker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That bit, I was the only bit, I'm not sure how I felt about that.
It was weird
hate
that wasn't. First of all,
it.
it's weird that wasn't a post-credit scene because it seemed very much like a post-credit scene the way it was set.
Very much so.
Yeah, it was probably the weakest point of the film. But
yeah, I mean,
I didn't want the Joker next.
yeah, because
no.
we always get the Joker in like. Well, we don't always get Joker in part 2, but
We
like,
do.
Do we? Yeah, well, I guess we had it the first part in the
part
Burton film, like, and.
Listen,
It was in
I
the
don't
Dark
think
Knight.
you can tell a trilogy of Batman stories without
Yeah.
somehow featuring the Joker, even if it's just as a cameo of some sort. I think because they're so integral to each other. I believe, like, maybe for me personally, but to have him the next, well, we think potential main villain.
I hope not.
I would want them to go a different route for this next film.
I would like to see him play more of a Nick Fury role, as in the Joker just appears in the next film, whoever there's a villain in that one, and just is there. Like, you kind of see him pulling the strings in the background, but is never really the villain. Like, just because
Did you guys see the interviews with Matt Reeves about the Joker character?
No,
because he was basically explaining that about who this Joker is, and that how he's someone that suffers, like, he basically, which I think is a thing, he was born. So with the other Jokers on screen, there's always like they fall into like a vat of acid, or like in like the scars. Well, this Joker's gonna be. He was born with this like permanent smile, and that's always been a thing. That's obviously, you know, he's been mocked by people, and like and people have perceived him in different ways and stuff like that, and it's kind of almost drove him a little bit crazy, like, down the lines. And yeah, so that's what this apparently Joker is going to be. He's going to be this character that just has this, like, and he based it on an old film. I'll find out. Carry on without me, but I'll Google it. And
because I tried to have a discussion with someone on Twitter who said their dream would be for Joaquin Phoenix's Joker to appear in this film, and I was like, but we've seen Bruce and the Joker in the same scene, and Bruce was about 8. I was like he's going to be a lot older at this point. Yeah. So I was like, that's never going to work. But
I'm just Jokered out at this point. Like, we don't need Joker anymore. We shelve him for future projects, but we like.
Who would you have liked to have seen, Vince? Who would you like to, if in the next film, if you were deciding which villain, alongside probably Paul Dano, will be involved somehow, but as the main villain, who would you like to have seen come in?
Here's the thing. I had 2 absolute thoughts in mind, right?
Okay.
One, I would love to see a modern iteration of Mr. Freeze. Like, I think that would be a fantastic storyline that I feel like Matt Reeves could absolutely knock out.
There's a rumor, isn't there, of Mr. Freeze? I've seen the name written somewhere that.
I'm keen to know how you think that they could pull that off in this world.
I mean, they just could. Science go far here, Terry.
It'd have to be a very different interpretation.
Did you see Mr. Freeze in Gotham?
No, I don't.
They put Mr. Freeze in Gotham, and they set it slightly closer to realism.
Yeah, but Gotham.
I think you could.
Yeah,
right. You could. My other big want is, I mean, I know we just got him in the Nolan trilogy, but Scarecrow. I think Scarecrow and the Riddler could absolutely cause some devastating shit.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good
I mean, psychiatrist gone wrong, right?
You also have Hugo Strange, though.
Sorry to interrupt, guys. The Man Who Laughs is what they were basing this Joker on. It's a 1928 silent expressionist melodrama. But if you Google The Man Who Laughs, and you'll see the picture, very creepy picture of. You see that?
Oh yeah.
That's the kind of thing
I'm pretty sure the original Joker was based on that look.
Yeah, yeah, that's the kind of thing. But he's just got like this, just permanent grin like this, just like always like that. Yeah.
I'm guessing Raj Al Ghul, or
it's
how can you do Raish without doing and not do Mr. Freeze, right? Because Raish is very magic, right?
Well, unless you do the more Liam Neeson Nolan version.
See, I would love to see the Court of Owls, but
Court of Owls, which I would have thought this movie was building to, right?
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like it kind of the things that come out of the Court of Owls, they did similar with this, like the whole things with like Thomas Wayne and
they have shown that they'll change the story though, obviously with Catwoman and stuff like that being so. They don't.
But the thing as well about the Court of Owls is what is so good about the Court of Owls is that it's the payoff is that Batman's been like operating all this time and not even known of their existence, like and that it kind of plays on that. Whereas I don't know, for that to work, I guess he needs to be in Gotham for longer.
Unless they do what a lot of films do, where they say 4 years later.
Yeah, but I kind of want to. I want to stay more in this. Like, okay, you jump forward a little bit, but I don't want to go too far forward. I want to be.
I feel like this is going to be like the big point of the next film, right? Like they made a very big point at the end of this film to be like, there's going to be a power grab in Gotham.
Yeah.
Because of this flood. So I feel like they can't go too far forward without maybe touching on that more, right? Like,
which you think would be the Penguin.
You would think, yeah. But there's obviously got to be hints to other crime organizations within Gotham as well, right?
See,
I mean, it's not just Falcone and
Zaz, yeah.
Zaz, yeah.
That would lend well to this world, I think.
I still think Hugo Strange.
Hugo Strange, yeah.
Like, he's an old school villain. But
I'd say we go crazy and do Hush.
Hush.
We'll work out. We could do Poison Ivy, but they just work in a flower shop and send really nasty messages in the cards.
Right.
See, Poison Ivy could work really well. Like,
in this world,
like
if Poison Ivy works well, so would Mr. Freeze.
I was gonna say you can't shun Mr. Freeze, who's just a bit chilly.
In Poison Ivy, you don't have to have her have animating plants and shit. You could literally just have her
poisoning,
putting on putting on some fucking poison lipstick and like kissing people in their faces or rotting off. So you just
Scarecrow at that point. If you're gonna mix it with poison.
But they can wear tight clothes. And Hollywood is sexist.
Sex appeal.
Yeah, Hollywood is sexist. Remember, So I don't know. There's a few options.
Or Man-Bat.
Man-Bat. Yeah.
I had to get Vince while he was drinking. Let's get in.
Or Calendar Man.
Calendar. Yeah, I mean, like
Kite Man in there too. Why not?
Yeah.
I think it's
Clayface.
Yeah. Oh, Clayface. That would be actually really good.
What's the thing? Swamp Thing, is it?
Swamp Thing, yeah.
But
was it no.
This is
Saruman Grundy. Saruman Grundy born
on a Monday.
Mad Hatter.
Batman villains. Why the fuck do we keep going back to the Joker?
Because
he's the best villain there is.
Money, and he is one of the best written villains there has ever been in comic book history.
Yeah, but it's mostly thanks to Heath Ledger, right?
No.
I disagree with that. I will strongly disagree with that.
Joker's always been fantastic. I mean, we've had
the animated
100
Joker
years almost
is better.
Of like,
yeah.
Oh, Mark Hamill for sure, but
yeah,
I feel like most people's modern touchstone is Heath Ledger, especially in film, right?
Or I think it's the only.
Don't get me wrong, like Heath Ledger's like fantastic, but Joker, like, there's just so many good iterations of it. Like you said, like you got Mark Hamill, you got
Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix. My mind's
Jared
going
Leto.
No, but
Jared Leto, though.
Tim Burton's. I can't. Jesus.
Oh, Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson, which obviously was iconic for the time, but even before that, the comics themselves. I mean,
what was his name in
some of the best comic runs?
In the Adam West. What was his name? The Batman. No,
Cesar Romero. Like, and the books themselves, like The Killing Joke, and like it's just there's some real iconic Joker stories. I mean, I personally like the Death of the Family, Death in the Family. Like, there's some there's so many good iterations of Joker, but you're right. I'm not rushing into another.
Yeah, I don't think we need one.
No, but you can't have Gotham without the Joker in it at some point. I mean, it's just
at some point.
The Joker is also a bit like James Bond and a bit like Doctor Who. It's like who plays them next. It's always a thing. Like, and they're always compared to the iterations before. Same as Batman, exactly.
They're the two sides of a coin.
Yeah, but
that's the whole point of that character.
Yeah,
like Joker's a build-up character, not like a one and done. Which, unfortunately,
I agree. I think I would like to see a Joker in a few films, and that's why I said I'm hoping that in the next film he's not the main villain, but you see him kind of a little bit further down the line, out of Arkham, maybe at the end of the film, setting up that third film where he is ready to go. We're not just forced into the Joker, because I think once you've done the Joker, it's very difficult to up the ante with Batman.
Yeah,
because he is known as his greatest foe to the general public. Even though he's had much tougher fights, he's had his back broken, blah blah blah. He's been killed, blah blah blah. The Joker was always his main nemesis. So I think that has to be a third film, not a second film. But
one thing I did love about what they did in this, though, is that the characters and the villains there was already a lot established, like before there was this Batman. Like, I mean, like, I love how, you know, there's already these gangs on the street and they're all wearing the face paint, and like people are wearing these like masks, and
they're like the Warriors.
It's just like it's this world already that the Batman's had to kind of be born out of, rather than, like, you know, obviously in the Dark Knight trilogy it was very much the opposite. It was like it was Batman, and then it was the idea was like, oh, because of like what you're doing, it's like influencing all these other things to do the same. You're escalating it. But I like this version. Not saying one's better than the other, but I like that in this version they are saying no, like Batman's been born from this world. Like, you know, he's kind of had to meet everything at that level. You know, it's all a bit crazy already.
Yeah, I think it was. I know we've said the same, Terry, that it was the best Batman film there's been. Vince, you said it was a good Batman film. Like, but I think we can all agree we're looking forward to more of this Batman, the world of Batman.
Very disappointing to hear, though. I heard today that Matt Reeves said that the series, who's doing it, the show?
I don't know. It's based on the Penguin, isn't it?
That might have been different. I'm not sure what that one was.
I know the Penguin's getting its own series.
No, one was based all around the about Gotham PD, about a corrupt cop, and it was set in year 1 of this world.
Oh wow!
And it was seeing Batman first come about, but from the perspective of Gotham, and it sounded so goddamn cool. But it's been put on hold. It's going to be an HBO show, and it's like, oh my god, like, because after watching this, I just want to see more of this world fleshed out, and I just thought that would have been so good. But I think the studios weren't kind of biting to it. Maybe
they might now. Really well. When it's had
one
of the biggest openings ever.
Yeah, but I think because of the kind of show it wasn't like, you know, it was like a corrupt cop at the center of the thing, and maybe that was just not the kind of thing
that. I'd love.
I know.
That.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it sounded so cool. Like, it sounded so cool. I was so excited for that. But yeah.
Anyway,
wait and see.
that's enough Batman. What I will say is just a quick. Did you see that Amazon are apparently heavily interested in doing God of War, a TV series?
Yeah. Wasn't it greenlit?
I don't know if it's been
not
greenlit.
yet.
I just saw the headline. I haven't read it yet because, like, and obviously to cause a bit of friction between the group because I rewatched the Lord of the Rings trailer.
Yeah.
Why does it look so bad? As in visually, it looks like really poor CGI, even in scenes that aren't CGI. Like,
It doesn't.
Rewatch it.
Where did you watch it? Did you watch it on Amazon or did you watch it on YouTube?
Where did I watch? I've probably
Because
YouTube.
apparently the version on Amazon
YouTube, probably.
is higher quality.
I'm not gonna go fucking Amazon to watch a trailer. Am I?
Well,
Like,
I think it looks great. I mean, I love
worried.
the way that the locations and the sets and the characters look. So yeah, I
I've
don't get
watched
it.
some shit shows. This will be fine.
Well, we're gonna have to finish Elden Ring before we get around to that, or else there'll be no time to watch it. So this is.
Speaking of watching trailers,
Oh God, what's
you
next?
guys watch. Well, the first time I've seen it in theater since the trailer's been out, I guess. Nope, from Jordan Peele.
I did see the trailer for that.
I've seen a trailer of it. I don't know if it was the teaser or the one that.
I saw
It doesn't give much away,
I
does
saw
it?
the Super Bowl one.
Which one's the Super Bowl one?
I'm guessing it's the main trailer. I think
It probably is the main.
You don't. Everyone's kind of looking up at the sky, but you don't actually see what it is. Yeah.
You see what it is in the trailer, yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe I've not seen the.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
The title
I'm
of this
always
film
interested in.
sums it up for me. Nope.
Yeah. I've still not seen Us.
Watch it. It's very good.
I do want to see it, but I loved.
I liked it, yeah.
Get Out.
Get Out.
Get Out. I loved Get Out. It was so good.
I love Jordan Peele, and I think Key and Peele is one of the greatest things that was ever on screen. Like, I really enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah.
And you can tell how fucked up his mind is. No one should let him direct because it is just a terrifying look into the human psyche. Like,
That's
why I
love it.
Like, no, I can't. It makes me so uneasy, but I can appreciate the art. He's so good at it, but
Very good at it.
absolutely not. No, thank you. No way, Jose. Anyway,
Watch the trailer, Terry. It's very good.
Yeah, I will.
you two enjoy that, you weirdos. Right.
Oh, we will.
This has been. Oh, sorry, we're still going.
But just before you cut off, I am going to see the Batman again tomorrow night.
Again?
Don't blame me.
And I can't wait. I can't wait.
Hours. You could be playing
3 more hours. I might even go see it a third time. We'll see how it goes.
Oh, I'm
I'll wait
jealous.
till the Blu-ray release. Watching 4K at home so I can pause and piss.
So jealous. I
Right.
definitely want to see it. But anyway, this has been the Shifty Crab podcast. We've talked Elden Ring. We've talked Batman. And we didn't talk about food. Or want to, like, for the whole podcast. So there we go. I think that's only the third time that's ever happened. But
Character growth.
what it was, character growth indeed. You could join us on Thursday where we'll be streaming something or other. We'll let you know. Could be Elden Ring. Could be something else. We shall see. And then we'll be back next week for the Shifty Crab podcast, where we'll be giving you... What did we call it? What was the Elden Ring section?
God.
Oh,
Tales of the Tarnished.
Tales of the Tarnished. Yeah.
Yeah.
With our Tales of the Tarnished section, where we talk about what's going on in the game, how many times I've been fucked over by a man on a horse, and all the bits in between. But thank you to the best beard in the business, the leader of the Elder Scrolls, the one who is guiding us through. I've done it again. Why do I keep calling it
Elder Scrolls? I didn't even pick up on that at first.
I know. Do you know what it is? It's because I tried to have a conversation with Casey when we were in the car about Elden Ring and explaining like why this game's so different and stuff like that. And she said, and she likes Skyrim and Oblivion. And she says, "Oh, you mean like the Elder Scrolls? Is this like a new Skyrim?" And I'm like, "No, it's Elden Ring. I know it sounds similar." And now it is stuck in my fucking head. Like, so sorry. The tour guide through Elden Ring himself, the best beard in the business, Mr. Vince Haley. Thank you for joining us today.
Oh, it's been a pleasure.
Absolute pleasure to have you here. And also, it is the Pun Master General, the Obi-Pun Kenobi himself, Mr. Terry Jeffs. Thank you for joining us today.
I'm vengeance.
There you go.
Do you think they had like a sponsorship deal? Like, do you think like almost in that film it sounded like he forgot who he was? Like it's just like, who are you? Vengeance. Yeah, but what's your real name?
That should have been the title. Vengeance.
Vengeance. Batman 2. Vengeance.
Still vengeancer. More vengeancey. I have been Adam, you have been you. And as always, you can head over to Shifty Crab on YouTube or over to Shifty Crab on Twitter at Crab Shifty and catch up with everything there and stay up to date for when we go live on Twitch and on YouTube. But until then, stay shifty.